Hello and welcome back to OverDose Vapes. Travis here, taking a look at some e-liquid. I got it in my hand. You know what I'm doing. I don't even know why I say this anymore. I say it every time, and every time I say, that's it, Travis. You're not saying it anymore. But then I keep saying it. So here I am, looking at some e-liquid. You can tell I've been already filming. It's a little vapey in here, but we're just going to keep on keeping on. Also, but this was sent out by myvapebar.com, and this is simple e-fruit, highly recommended by Yeti's uncle. Now, I don't know about this specific flavor, but the line in general, I know that he really enjoyed it. And I tell you what, some of the flavors from my vape bar that I had previous to this were amazing. They make one of the absolute best vanilla custards that I've ever had. It's from part of their emergency vape stash line. If you haven't had a chance to pick it up, pick it up. It is absolutely next level custard, top tier. It's probably the best custard I ever had, vanilla custard. It is that good. The vanilla in that is amazing. But we're not talking about that. There is a video for it. You can go, go search my channel and you can watch that video. But today we're looking at simple e-fruit. This is Blackberry-Blueberry-Grape. I grabbed this one first because it's the one that I'm most afraid of. Usually I go for the liquids that I think are the ones that I'm going to enjoy because I'm a vapor and I want to have a good vape experience. But also those are the ones I'm most interested in, because I think that people watch this and maybe they have a similar flavor profile to me, and so that's the ones they're most interested in watching. But this one I picked for the exact opposite reasons. This one is the one that scares me. This is the one that I think is the one that they could do wrong. If they're going to do any of them wrong, it could be this one, because of that grape, baby. Grape is not easy to do, and they have 3 dark fruit flavors here, 3 dark berry kind of flavors here, and that can be rough. Mixed berry liquids, in my experience, have been traditionally a little rough around the edges when it comes to vaping. So let's go close, check out the bottle. So, man, blackberry, blueberries, grapes, that shit is rough. Real rough, if you know what I'm saying. Let's try it. The aroma, very much like a powdery candy kind of flavor. Yeah. Not unappealing, a little perfumey, and also just a little bit candy. You can smell candy kind of flavor coming off of this. I kind of expected a more authentic fruit, because this is called simple e-fruit. I don't know if the flavor is going to bear that out, but smelling it, I definitely get a candy essence. So, get those dark berries right away. There's a candy back note, but it is primarily like an authentic, fresh kind of fruit flavor. Fresh fruit. I mean, I'm vaping this, so how fresh could it be, right? But I think you guys know what I mean. It's not entirely a candy e-liquid, which I was definitely not expecting it to be a candy at all. So, but there is those back notes. Like I said, you get some back notes of some tart, sweet candy, a little bit of powdery kind of candy almost. Yeah. Let me drip a little bit more. The first impression that I got was you definitely could distinguish flavors. Like I did distinguish blackberries and blueberries. The grape is a little bit harder to pinpoint. I think maybe the grape is that candy flavor that I'm tasting, because it does taste almost a little bit like grape bubblegum. Which would make sense, because like I said, there's not a lot of grape flavoring out there that works in a vape form. And I think that probably the closest thing that we've ever had to something that's passable as a grape is like a grape candy, grape bubblegum flavor. But unfortunately, when you're mixing that with other fruit flavors that are a little bit more fruit and less candy, you kind of overtakes the whole experience, and it becomes kind of just like a juicier candy, and less of like a fruit with a little bit of sweet notes. which is like what I would prefer in this instance. You know, to be totally honest, in this instance, what I would have done is, if it was me, obviously it's not, I would have taken the grape out. Maybe they were going for this particular flavor, but I feel like the grape is holding it back a little bit, because the blueberries and the blackberries are really good. And you can't distinguish them. They are separate entities. It's not just one note. You get those other flavors, and those are good. And when I'm getting those hits of those flavors, I'm enjoying this. It's just that back note and the aftertaste of the kind of grape candy flavor. I'm not a huge fan of that, if I'm totally honest with you guys, which I am. Now, by no means is this a gross. I mean, I'm sitting here vaping it, so obviously it's not gross or anything. It's not bad per se. This is a totally subjective preference. It's a preferential thing at this point. The liquid is nice. It vapes really nice. It feels very smooth at 3 milligram, as it should. It's got a good color to it. The flavor saturation is really nice. You get tons of flavor. There's no doubt of what you're getting here. It's not like I'm having to search for flavors and kind of convince myself of what I'm getting. Quite the opposite. You're getting bombarded with flavor. Not overly. You know, it's not overly done. I'm not sitting here going like, oh, ew, that's too much flavor. It's hitting a perfect balance of being a very robust flavor, but still leaving me the ability to move on after each tug. It's not like I'm sitting here like trying to scrape it off my tongue, which, with some flavors, especially with some fruit, and even more digging even deeper with some mixed berry flavors, it can be overwhelming with flavor. And this strikes a really good balance, which is, I would say, this is going to be good for tanks. It's going to be good for RDAs as well, which is a rare commodity in vaping. Rarely do we get a flavor that works well in both those arenas. Now, admittedly, I have not tried this in tanks, but given the flavor saturation that I'm seeing here, I see no problem. I anticipate no problems for tanks. Things I like about this, I like that it's simple, yet offers a lot of variety. This isn't a real complex liquid. It's not chock full of nuances or anything. It's 3 notes, but those 3 notes are independent of each other enough to keep me interested in it and to keep me vaping it. But simple enough that I think that anybody could dig into this and have a good experience. So yeah, it's going to come down to preference. Do you like that kind of candy grape flavor? Because that's the one thing that I think would hold some people back. And it just doesn't fit real well with those other 2 flavors. So I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5. I think it's not, terrible by any means. It's not unvapable. It's just, for me, the flavor doesn't really work the way that it's set up. I think they're kind of clashing, those grapes, that grape flavor with the other 2 fruits. It's just not working real well for me. So I want to thank myvapebar.com for sending this out. I really, really appreciate it. And like I said, some of the other flavors are blockbuster. And we will be looking at some of those coming up real soon. So until then, thank you guys so much for watching. Please keep your coils tight, and we'll see you next time. Peace out.